The 16 Days of Activism is an annual international campaign that kicks off on the 25th of November, the International Day for Elimination of Violence Against Women, and runs till this 10th of December on the Human Rights Day, which is equally very important because violence against women is a human rights issue, and the relationship and links between those two events are also very important. The Honorable Minister also alluded to the effort by the UN Secretary General on his Unite by 2030 to End Violence Against Women campaign. And he has called on global actions to increase awareness, galvanize advocacy efforts, and share knowledge and innovation, all geared towards ending violence against women. He has also galvanized the UN system, member states, and other actors to put an end to violence against women and girls, once and for all, through the COVID-19 political engagement strategy, which you are familiar with, and through his call to member states to develop emergency response plans to eradicate violence against women and girls. In Zimbabwe, remarkable work has been done under your leadership, and I must congratulate you as we start the 16 Days of Activism. Under the Spotlight Initiative, which is a global UN initiative with generous funding from the European Union, the government of Zimbabwe has elevated gender-based violence and gender equality to the political agenda through the High-Level Political Compact. The High-Level Political Compact aims to end gender-based violence and harmful practices by 2030, which was supported through the Spotlight Initiative. But the critical thing here is that if there is one country where the president has actually signed the compact, is Zimbabwe. I'm very proud of it, and when I was in New York, I felt honored when it was referred to by some of our senior colleagues. The Spotlight Initiative in Zimbabwe has been working with a wide range of partners and has to date made a significant impact towards prevention and response efforts in increasing gender-based violence and harmful practices. Despite the progress made in promoting and protecting the rights of women, girls, and children, there have been increasing reports of child and adolescent pregnancies and child marriages, as alluded to by the minister already. But it is clear to all of us that when girls get pregnant or married off early, their prospect diminishes and they become more vulnerable to poverty and exclusion. I think this is what we are all advocating to end in Zimbabwe. We need more robust efforts to protect children from such violations as already laid out by Your Excellency, and we need to strengthen advocacy, awareness raising at all levels in line with the Zimbabwe Constitution and laws on child rights. I think this is very critical for all of us. Perpetrators, as you said, Your Excellency, must be held accountable. And in view of these circumstances, Your Excellency, let me share some perspective that our collective voices, including the media in Zimbabwe, can make a difference on these 16 days of activism. One, this issue of ending violence against women and girls is not only a women's agenda. I think having men and boys on board as champions is equally critical. And also leading by example for men and boys to become agents of change for the achievement of gender equality is also extremely critical. Now, as such, we must continuously use our voice and influence to harness what I simply call human solidarity to end violence against women and girls in all forms. So it's not an agenda for women alone. So the male folks have equal important role in trying to end this violence. The collective voice of government, stakeholders, and the society at large to ensure women and girls receive universal sexual and reproductive health services. In addition, we should continue to advocate for survivors of sexual and gender-based violence to receive timely and integrated medical, legal, and psychosocial services. This can be done through advocating for the scaling up of ongoing innovative approaches, such as the one-stop center. My Deputy Secretary General told me, change it to a community-based approach, madam. So the community knows how to manage it better, but this is a challenge. Yeah, but we still look at that. I have seen these one-stop centers here in Zimbabwe, and I'm sure in other countries also I've seen it, and they are effective ways of supporting survivors. But getting the community engaged and involved in that process is equally critical. Yeah. Third, there's an urgency to end child marriages. The statistics in this beautiful country, Zimbabwe, is quite at a level of concern. 33% of girls are married before the age of 18, while men, it is only 2%. Why those differences? Yeah, we should redouble our efforts to support national and local efforts to end early child marriages. I think this is a big task to all of us. 4, we are calling for equal access to quality education and skills development. I cannot overemphasize the importance of having better education opportunities for girls, especially in secondary and tertiary education. Data has shown that the level of education and wealth has an impact on marriage, and what we know is that when girls have no education, their average marriage age is around 17.8 years, based on statistics. While the average age of a girl with more than with secondary education is around 23.4 years, at which she is able to make critical decisions for herself. That is all what we are pushing for. And 5th, we have to work towards drawing women into economic mainstream. The consequences of decline in women's ability and absolute economic status has both ethical and long-term economic implications. In the long run, the low economic status of women will translate into slow national economic growth and development. We cannot have a population that is almost half that is completely neglected or left behind. I think it's critical that women are brought to the mainstream development opportunities in the country. 6, we need to advocate for increased gender-based violence. It's also very important, and we should continue investing in it. But at the end of the day, is providing requisite investment for education of the girl child and the boy. Yeah, it's also very critical, and trying to provide them an opportunity to be active contributors to the local economy is also extremely important. So we start on one good note, that is Zimbabwe has made some incremental gains, but we should build on those gains to address violence against women and girls and boys in this beautiful country of ours. Thank you very much for inviting me.
For these and other stories, visit our website www.263chat.com. Follow us on Twitter @263chat and like our Facebook page 263chat.